These three mistakes are keeping immigrants broke and getting them deported. There's an IRS and ICE crackdown. I am your immigration attorney, Sékou Clarke, and I have been seeing some wild things in 2025 and also some huge changes as well that you are fully aware of. But one massive change which has been unprecedented is ICE and the IRS. They're now sharing data. What does that mean? It means that the information that you submit to IRS, such as how much money that you've made, your social security number, your ITIN number, this is now shared with ICE. And guess what? Also where you work and where you live. But how is this dangerous? It is dangerous because it has been a long-term thing that IRS, they stay separate from other government entities, right? They keep your information private, right? If you hear somebody or see somebody guard their tax return for a reason, like they're guarding their firstborn, it is because it is such detailed and personal information. But guess what? It is no longer personal, especially if you have lost your status or you're in a pending status. Anything that IRS has, ICE will not get it. They will see where you work, how much money you've earned, where you live, and it's no longer private. So how is this going to get you deported if you are an immigrant? Well, what I have seen happen is when you have an employer that hires an undocumented immigrant who has an ITN, right? And one or two things happen. They do not provide the W-9. They do not provide the W-9, which is necessary if they are paying an immigrant who has an ITIN number. So the employer, right, they know you don't have a work permit, but what guards them is they can say, well, it's an independent contractor, they have their own business and they provided an ITIN number. But the issue now is if they do not provide a W-9 and IRS comes knocking on their door, they can say, I didn't know that they were illegal. I didn't know that they didn't have a work permit. They have a valid LLC, they have an ITIN number. It's not my responsibility because they're an independent contractor. When ICE starts putting pressure on them, guess what they're going to do? They're going to give ICE all your updated information. Meaning they're going to give that employer, along with IRS, will now give ICE your exact location. That employer is going to tell ICE that, look, I don't want any problems, but this is the information that they gave me. This is where they're staying. This is where they frequent, and they are here illegally, even though that's not my problem because they told me they were an independent contractor. I've seen it happen all the time. Huge issue going on because guess what? ICE and IRS, they are now working together. But what else is keeping immigrants broke in 2025? It is the mindset of immigrants. It is the mindset that once they come to the US, they stay within the same communities. And I see it happen all over. I'm not saying that you should leave your culture, leave your heritage and and forget where you came from and go into a random community. No, but they stay in a community of the same type of people, right? The same immigrants, they speak the same language, but guess what? They have the same problems. And when you're around people who have the same problems, what happens? They normalize that problem. And I've seen it happen in communities where almost everybody is undocumented and they're not doing anything about it. When some of them have legitimate ways of getting their immigration status correct. And it's because of the mindset that limits them because everybody around them has normalized that. It is okay to be out of status. You can get a job here under the table and immigration will not bother you, which it couldn't be any more further from the truth. So what I encourage people, leave that community. Go to the community that is different, that is a little bit more progressive, but even those aside, but just have a different mindset. Because once you go into a different community, and you go into a different community where you see people that are thriving, or they're working on getting out of their current situations, they're showing different opportunities, what else is going to come? Because this community, they are not seeing a problem, they're only seeing alternatives and solutions. So once you get into that community, right, you are now going to have a mindset shift to where you want to get out of your current situation and finding a legal status. It all works together, your mindset. So staying away from the people with the similar mindset, right, will keep you down. And guess what? It's those same people that when ICE comes, they will either give you away, right, or they will pull you with them. Meaning, because ICE is targeting one person here and you are there in that community, then you are going to get scooped up as well. And it's just life. If you consistently just hang out with people, if you consistently spend your time with people who are progressive, people who are toxic, people who are negative and don't want to see you rise, they will pull you down. Right? I'm not saying to leave and forget your community. Go to the community that will encourage you, support you, give you the resources to get legal, to get an education, to get more opportunities to progress in your life. And yes, it includes getting your immigration status. It will change. And then you can go back to your community and then encourage the people that there is a way out and there is another life.